The End of Knowledge. By Sai Prasad Nanduri. True knowledge marks the end of knowledge. Upanishads. Keywords: Advaita philosophy, true knowledge, placebo, nocebo, epigenetics, law of karma, quantum mechanics, consciousness, holographic universe. This paper has been published in IJAEM, June 2022. Abstract. Today human societies are tossed between their belief systems on one hand and the continually changing science knowledge on the other hand. Individuals' attitude, faith, emotions, feelings, prejudice, opinions, judgment, sentiments, superstitions, and fears all depend on one's belief systems into which he is drawn. Human beings are proving themselves to be only social animals, adjusting despite differences and pretending to be happy. The belief systems are playing havoc with the health and happiness of the individual as revealed by the recent studies in social biology, placebo effects, nocebo effects, epigenetics, and neurosciences. Our empirical and partial knowledge creates certain beliefs in our minds that get stored in our memory. The memories trigger changes in our brain circuitry, which in turn trigger changes in our gene expressions. They bring about changes in our state of health, happiness, and behavior. Knowing truth seems to be the only solution. Generally, people aspire to live in this world with 3 desires. 1. I want to be happy always. 2. I want to know everything. 3. I want to live forever. Most religions have no answers for these desires, and they are not in the purview of sciences. There is one monistic, Advaita, philosophy that promises solution to all the 3 desires by presenting the true knowledge. However, there seems to be one weak link, known as Maya, a concept invoked to explain the illusory nature of this universe. An alternate concept of holographic universe is suggested in this paper in place of Maya, which was not explained beyond doubts. Introduction. If we look around the world today, we observe conflicts and terrorism in one form or the other. Added to this, we find degradation of our environment due to global warming caused by irresponsible human actions and extinction of species on large scale, threatening ecological balance and survival of our future generations. If we carefully analyze, we notice 2 main reasons. Firstly, overemphasis on technologies, assuming they are panacea for all ills of the society. We are attracted by the comforts they are providing at the expense of quality in food, water, and air, which are essential for our survival. No technology is harmless and economical when we consider true cost of resources. Secondly, people are practicing wide range of philosophies and unproven belief systems based on splintered religions, causing divisions in societies across the globe, resulting in conflicts quite often. The solution lies in ignoring belief system and become a warrior of truth. The philosophy presented in this paper suggests that one should know about oneself first, before attempting to know anything about the world or God. Though no one has seen God, each religion claims its superiority over the other. What is presented in this paper is the philosophy that explains the nature of self, and how to be blissful while living instead of aiming for heaven after death. The placebo and nocebo effects. Suppose 10 students of a class, who have fallen ill with same symptoms, after eating food at the same place, go to a doctor, take his prescription, go to pharmacy, and take the medicines as prescribed. But only 5 students are cured within a week, while the other 5 are not. Now the question is whether doctor has cured the sickness, or the medicine, or the patient has cured himself. According to new research into the placebo and nocebo effects, the therapeutic effects depend on the faith of the patient. The stronger the faith, faster is the cure. Harvard researcher Dr. Ted Kaptchuk made this counterintuitive conclusion in a study published in Science and Translational Medicine Journal. Kaptchuk and colleagues found that the placebo effect greatly enhanced pain relief in migraine sufferers who had the expectation they were getting an effective drug, compared to when they took the active drug with the incorrect label placebo. The story of a cancer patient is of particular interest. A doctor was treating a cancer patient who was not responding to chemotherapy. One day the patient himself read in the newspaper that a particular medicine, recently discovered, is a good cure for his cancer, and requests doctor to give that medicine to him. Within a few weeks of administering drug by the doctor, the tumor miraculously shrinks, and the patient goes home. After a year, the patient comes across a news saying that the drug discovered, and which he has taken as cure, for his cancer, did not pass the trial tests on several patients. This news made him sad, and the tumor reappeared, and he was back in the hospital. The doctor, having understood the psychology of the patient, one day, tells him that he knows a doctor who discovered a new drug which dissolves the tumor without operation. The patient agrees, and the doctor administers nothing but saline water as injection. The patient, within a few days, recovers completely, having been declared free of cancer, and goes home. This clearly establishes the fact that the mind is more powerful than the body. People prefer to seek cure for ailments from a doctor who is more popular in the locality than a doctor even more qualified but not popular. The placebo effect has been observed since ancient times. Snake charmers, belonging to typical tribe, were known to get bitten by poisonous snakes in a ritualistic manner based on their faith, and nothing happens to them. During war times, beautiful young ladies, after receiving snake bites, were sent to the enemy camps, and as soon as the targeted enemy makes love with this lady, known as Bishakanya, he will be dead. Today, we hear about terrorists being trained and brainwashed into a certain belief system that makes them join Suicide Squad, ready to lay their lives for the belief system into which they are drawn. The nocebo effect, on the other hand, is when a negative thinking of a phenomenon causes more negative effect than it otherwise would be. Mental states such as beliefs, expectations, and anticipations of a side effect can strongly influence the outcome of, say, a disease, pain, and even success of a surgery. For example, when a patient imagines a side effect of a treatment, he can suffer them even if the medication provided is an inert substance or a placebo. A belief or faith is a state of mind in which a person thinks and is positively or negatively oriented something to be the cause, with or without any empirical evidence or factual certainty. In short, it is the personal attitude associated with true or false ideas and concepts. The belief system works when the person's mind is positively oriented. However, since we are living in an information age, our belief systems are continually being tampered with, and as a result our health and happiness never stays put. For example, majority of us have been avoiding food items made using coconut oil, as many doctors advised not to consume, as coconut oil contains high amounts of bad cholesterol, LDL. Today, the situation is quite contrary, as scientists announced coconut oil is not only safe, but it is good for healthy heart. Likewise, our opinions and beliefs keep on changing with time as new information pops up and replaces the old beliefs. There are an estimated 10,000 distinct religions worldwide. About 84% of the world's population is affiliated to either Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, or Buddhism. Even these four major religions are further divided into 3 or 4 branches that differ in their faiths and belief systems. It is interesting to note that holy books are the same, but different interpretations are the cause for various branches. In science, 2 theories about the same phenomenon are never accepted. It is surprising how we accept so many religious doctrines about the one and only God. Perverted intelligent people create their own logic and reason to defend their wrong views. If one analyses the reason for such variation in faith, it will be clear that main reason is their incomplete understanding about nature of the individual soul, the world, and the God. Cell biology and epigenetics. The cell is the building block of all life forms. The human body is composed of 10 trillion cells. They provide structure to the body. They take nutrients from the food and convert them into energy and carry out specialized functions to enable us to survive. The human cell has genetic material contained in its nucleus. The nuclear genome is divided into 46 linear molecules called chromosomes. All the genetic information is encoded in the chromosome that looks like a twisted ladder forming a double helix. Each DNA sentence formed by the 4 nitrogenous bases represented by the letters A, C, G, and T, put in a sequence. The genetic code for a simple bacterium comprises of 4.5 million letters or base pairs, while the genetic code for human being comprises of about 5 billion letters. There are about 100,000 genes in each one of us. It has long been thought that our physical features, lifespan, and our diseases have been encoded in our genes, and we are predisposed as such. Latest research, however, has established that we are not at the mercy of our genetic code, but we can change our DNA or gene expression. Today, top scientists around the world agree that the genetic determinism is a flawed theory. The DNA we are born with is not the sole determinant for our health and well-being. Bruce Lipton, a cell biologist, researched for decades on the difference between the genetic determinism and epigenetics, the study of factors outside the DNA, such as environment and belief systems which influence changes in genome expression. Dr. Lipton's theory has been confirmed by tests in the lab by Dr. Carl Ventura, professor at the University of Bologna, Italy. He conducted tests on the biological cells subjecting to a variety of environmental factors such as magnetic fields, placebo effects, and belief systems. Dr. Bruce Lipton concludes by saying, Our beliefs and perceptions are altering our genes every moment. When a cell is kept in a laboratory environment, it functions very well. However, it has been observed repeatedly, when the cell is in our body, it is influenced by our belief systems as well as environment. We can remove these belief filters that are interfering with our lives. The secret to real joy and lasting peace of mind lies in being able to see the complete picture without any belief filters. Now it is time to analyze the basis for our belief systems and filters. In general, our belief systems are based on our opinions are based on our judgments, and our judgments are based on the knowledge stored in our memory. We use a filter for our camera while taking pictures. The purpose of the filter is to avoid unwanted scenes appearing in the picture formed in the camera. The camera is not capturing the scene as it appears in its natural environment, but only an altered environment. In a similar way, our belief system works as a filter, creating an environment that alters our genetic makeup, causing innumerable problems to our health and happiness. As far as our beliefs are concerned, they might do some miracles, provided we are always oriented in positive mind with firm conviction. Dr. Bruce Lipton said, if he is bitten by a snake, he will not become immune to snake bite, since his belief is not as strong as that of a tribesman or a snake charmer. We, in this current information age, are being bombarded continually with new knowledge through different media, and as a result our belief systems keep on changing, playing havoc with our health and happiness. The source for our belief systems can be linked to our religion, and to the science knowledge that is changing continually, often clashing with our religious beliefs. Therefore, it is essential to remove these belief filters altogether. The only solution is that our belief systems shall have to be replaced by true knowledge that does not change with time. That is, we must shed our beliefs and become warriors of truth. True knowledge. The true knowledge has been defined as the process of cognition which reveals the true nature of the subject, the object, and their relation. If we have complete information about an object, we can create the object using 3D printer. So, an object is not different from its knowledge. You are not different from the knowledge of yourself. True knowledge is when the subject knowledge and object knowledge merges into one self-knowledge. This true knowledge was propagated by the Indian monistic philosopher of 6th or 7th century, Sri Sankaracharya. He critically analyzed the Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, and Brahma Sutras presented by ancient rishis. He adopted a process known as negation, which is a process involving eliminating one by one that exists in this universe, which is not real. Finally, what remains is truth. This truth, as established, is not different from knowledge, consciousness, and energy that is eternal and blissful. Only human beings are blessed with intellect to comprehend truth, by analyzing carefully what is real and what is not. A thing which did not exist in the beginning, and do not exist at the end, cannot exist in the middle, and if it exists it cannot be real. This statement from Mandukya Upanishad can be referred as the law of unreality. Secondly, a thing, which has name and form, is limited by space and time, it decays and becomes non-existent one day. Thirdly, anything that undergoes a physical or chemical change cannot be real. Lastly, two truths, or two eternal things, cannot exist. These are the foundations for the Advaita philosophy. When truth is one, there is no support for the existence of anything else that can be real. The definition of God. By analyzing where God is, and who is God, and finding one's true nature, it is possible to arrive at the definition of God. This universe is so vast, comprising of 100 billion galaxies, each with 100 billion stars. Earth is going round the sun, the solar system is going round the center of Milky Way galaxy. One observes nothing is static and the whole universe is expanding with increasing speed. In such a universe, where to find truth or God that does not move or undergoes a change? If God is inside this universe, he would not have created this universe. If he was outside the universe, then it must be another universe. There are two types of knowledges we come across, the object knowledge or science knowledge as it is known. The second one is the subject knowledge or knowing, who am I? The object knowledge. The object knowledge is all about discovering what is around us in this observable universe. This is what our scientists have been doing since 400 years to understand the events in this universe. They discovered and evolved many scientific theories and discovered that the nature is governed by four forces: the gravitational force, the electromagnetic force, the weak force, and the strong force. Many technologies, from bridges to rockets, came into existence based on the discovery of gravitational force and Newton's laws. Many technologies pertaining to communication and entertainment have been developed based on electromagnetic force. Technologies like X-rays for medical diagnosis, nuclear energy for power generation, and nuclear bombs were based on the weak force and strong force. These technologies do some good as well as bad to the society. Main attraction towards technologies is the fact that they are providing a lot of comforts for our living, and this is making us ignore the bad side effects like poor quality of air we breathe, water we drink, and food we eat, putting our health and planet's health at great risk. Most of the scientific theories are abstract with number of assumptions, and hence they are incomplete. Secondly, a new theory often replaces existing theory as science progresses. Einstein has established that the universe, comprising of space, time, and matter, undergo changes with speed. Space and time will shrink, while mass increases exponentially with speed. Also, according to Einstein, space and time are not two separate entities, but one continuum. These Einstein's theories have replaced earlier Newton's gravitational theory, which assumed that the universe is static, and time flows uniformly. These technologies do some good as well as bad to the society. Main attraction towards technologies is the fact that they are providing a lot of comforts for our living, and this is making us ignore the bad side effects like poor quality of air we breathe, water we drink, and food we eat, putting our health and planet's health at great risk. Experimental verification difficulties. However, some established scientific discoveries greatly enhance our comprehension of truth. The subject knowledge. The second is the subject knowledge. That is, discovering, who am I, or the true nature of oneself. It is often said a wise man tries to know about himself first before trying to know anything about the external world. Ancient rishis of India wanted to discover truth which does not move or undergo any change. In this vast universe they could find none. What they did was, they experimented on themselves through deep meditation. In deep meditation or contemplation, the solution to a problem is discovered intuitively without the mediation of the senses and mind. Their discoveries are presented in the form of Upanishads, and their discussions were presented in the form of Brahma Sutras. They adopted a process of negation to distinguish between what is real and what is not. They observed that human body is the result of food, and undergoes changes from the time of birth, childhood, adulthood, old age, decay, and death. Therefore, human body cannot be real. The breath or prana is not real as it moves. The mind, which is nothing but flow of thoughts, is also changing with information it gathers from external world. Therefore, mind also cannot be real. The intellect, which is the faculty of decision-making, is also not real, as our decisions keep on changing with new knowledge. Similarly, happiness is also not real, since it changes with time and mood. They finally discovered that the mind passes through 3 mental or conscious states every day: waking state, dream state, and deep sleep state. They decided to observe them carefully and find what causes these 3 states of consciousness. In waking state, we interact with the external world with our body, senses, and mind to decide about the nature of the objects by gathering information using our 5 senses. The world is nothing but objects of names, forms, and actions. In waking state, body, senses, and mind are active. In dream state, the body and senses take rest, while the mind projects an imaginary world of its own or our memories of the past. We see people, places, objects, and events in a dream. We deny the reality of the dream after waking up. It is interesting to note, we cannot see objects with closed eyes or in darkness, but we see people and places in a dream. In deep sleep state, the body, senses, mind, and intellect, and memory take rest, and only breathing and heartbeat will continue. One enjoys maximum happiness because of freedom from external events, desires, and dream. Next day one says he had a sound sleep. Now, the question is whether these 3 conscious states are independent or one. For example, I was reading a book last night and completed 40 pages before I went to sleep, and I passed through dream state and deep sleep state and woke up in the morning. It is known, the mind does not function during deep sleep, and due to this, there seems to be a break in the consciousness. Despite this apparent break in consciousness, I pick up the book in the morning and continue my reading from page 41. This is not possible unless there is a continuity of the consciousness in the 3 states. Also, there is nothing beyond the 3 states. In the waking state, unless consciousness empowers our senses and mind, we cannot gain any knowledge of the surroundings. During dream, unless some light shines, it is not possible to see people and places. During deep sleep, one is not aware of himself, but he says he slept like a log. Unless some awareness present, he will not be able to say this. Therefore, we can conclude one consciousness must be present in all the 3 states of waking, dream, and deep sleep. This consciousness must also exist even after death of the body, since death is not very much different from deep sleep. This consciousness, that is the substratum of all our experiences, has been declared as pure consciousness. This consciousness cannot be localized in space, so it must be all-pervading. Anything that has form cannot be pervasive. This consciousness is subtler than space, and must be the fundamental feature of this universe. It has been declared that this consciousness must be eternal and homogeneous. Since 2 eternal things cannot exist, this consciousness must be same as God. When there was no scientific thought, it is interesting to know how Sankaracharya concluded that the world is not real. According to him, every waking experience makes the objects come into existence in consciousness, and therefore becomes possessed by the consciousness. This possession makes the object an adjective of that consciousness. Thus, it follows from another rule, that an adjective cannot exist apart from its substrate, and this adjective cannot exist apart from the consciousness which now possesses it. Further, the stream of consciousness is possessed of these objects and images. The continuity of consciousness as a stream grants it the quality of substrate of these experiences of objects. Consciousness, therefore, becomes an eternal and universal background of all phenomenal experiences. An object is not different from the knowledge of it, we are not different from the knowledge of ourself, and God is not different from the knowledge of Him. These 3 knowledges are but one consciousness. We know that energy can neither be created nor destroyed. Also, from black hole theory and information theory, it is proven that information can neither be created nor destroyed. Therefore, information and energy must be an inseparable part of this consciousness. Just like, when we say a person is strong and intelligent, we cannot separate the strength and intelligence from the person. From the above analysis, we get the definition of God, God is all-pervading consciousness, all-knowing and all-powerful. Origin of universe. The next question is, how this universe came into existence. There are three postulates put forward by religious philosophers and science. 1. Creation theory. 2. Evolutionary theory. 3. Manifestation theory.
Creation theory.
Creation theory was propounded by many religions of the world, and states that God residing in heaven, or some other place had created this universe and life. By closely observing the working of the nature and of human body, one might conclude that one superpower must exist behind this creation with a plan and purpose. God will punish the wrongdoers and reward the virtuous. Worship, prayers, and pilgrimage to ward off sins is a common feature of all religions. Some of the creation theories differ in their opinions about the nature of God, the world, and the individual soul. Some religions believe that all the three are real, while another believes God and souls are real, yet another believes that God only is real, soul and the physical world are unreal. The creation theories, however, fail when one questions where God was before creation. What is his nature, and how the universe was created? If God created this universe, he must have a desire and tools. For example, to create a pot, the potter himself is not enough, he needs clay, potter's wheel, water, and other things. In the absence of these contributory causes, one must imagine God has created this real world with a magic wand. Third, if the God's desire in creating this universe was to create life on this tiny planet Earth, what is the need for creating such a vast universe? If God is localized in space, he will be limited and cannot be eternal and all-pervading. When the religious leaders around the world meet, discuss, and debate and agree on one definition of God, all religions could merge, and religious conflicts can be avoided.
Evolutionary theory.
The evolution theory was the work of many scientists. The Big Bang model for the origin of the universe was first proposed in 1940 by Fred Hoyle. According to this theory, the universe originated from an extremely dense and hot state, known as singularity, which exploded spewing radiation and started expanding, creating space, time, and physical world, as the radiation cooled, over a period of 13.7 billion years. This is the most widely accepted theory at present. This theory gained support after finding the cosmic microwave background temperature was close to prediction. This theory, however, fails to answer many questions. When there was no space and time before creation, where the Big Bang explosion started. Second, the super force that triggered Big Bang explosion must have been finely tuned to an accuracy of more than 1 in trillion. Minute variation in this force would have resulted in a different kind of universe. Third, whole theory assumes more than 100 assumptions before our solar system with habitable planet, Earth, evolved. Lastly, the visible universe is only 5% of the total universe. Invisible dark matter and dark energy constitute the 95% universe, which are yet to be understood. At present, alternate models such as computer-simulated universe and holographic universe are being proposed.
Manifestation theory.
Advaita philosophy, propounded by Sankaracharya in the 6th or 7th century, states that reality is only one, the physical world and souls are not real. The world is a manifestation of Brahman and is not different from him. According to this manifestation theory, this world is created, sustained, and goes back to unmanifested state. Consciousness is the only reality. The Maya is mysteriously associated with the consciousness and is responsible for creating this illusory universe by creating the 5 elements, space, air, fire, water, and earth in that order. The universe and bodies of the living beings are formed by the 5 elements in their gross form in different combinations, while the senses and minds of living beings are formed by the combination of the 5 elements in their subtle forms. Only Sankaracharya could analyze the Upanishads properly and declare that only consciousness is truth, and the world is an illusion. Since he made a startling discovery that the world is not real, which did not augur well with other philosophers, who made amendments and proposed different philosophies under Hinduism. Only one reality, truth or God, can exist. So, the obvious conclusion is that the world and souls cannot be real. They appear real to the ignorant mind. The living beings are born in accordance with the law of karma and dharma. According to this law, for every action, karma, of man, due to his free will, there is bound to be reaction he must bear in the future lives. It is said, man is born of his karmas of previous lives, and his future life will depend on his karmas in the present life. For other forms of life, their lifespan and number of times they are born are fixed before they take birth. Living beings are born on the earth as one of the four forms of life, each comprising of 2.1 million varieties, those born from moisture, insects, those born from earth, plants, those born from eggs, reptiles and birds, and those born from womb, mammals. It is often said, one is born of karma, lives by karma, and dies of karma. The reality is all-pervading consciousness. Nothing is excluded from this consciousness. Therefore, Vedanta declared that you are God, and I am God, and if one does not understand this truth, only his ignorance to be blamed. This Upanishadic statement, I am God, also did not augur well with many critics of Advaita philosophy, since they assumed God is superior and unlimited while human beings are limited. According to the manifestation theory, pure consciousness, in association with mysterious Maya, is only responsible for creating this illusory universe. Maya has the power to make unreal world appear as real, by creating ignorance in the minds of the living beings. The universe is a projection on the consciousness by the mind. One section of Advaita philosophers believe that the world is not different from God. This, however, is not true, since we notice God is eternal, but the world is not. The advocates of the Advaita philosophy give two famous examples in support of the manifestation model. When several pots are made from clay, each pot, through and through, is clay only. Clay is real, while pots are manifestation. Similarly, gold, and different ornaments made of gold. Here also gold is real, while ornaments are manifestation. If one observes closely, these examples have a fallacy. When so many pots are made from a lump of clay, or ornaments are made from gold, the source clay or gold depletes. But the supreme consciousness or Brahman is absolute and homogeneous, and cannot reduce or increase a bit. This manifestation theory is the best when compared with all other theories, but for the invoking of Maya concept. If we can circumvent this Maya concept, this theory will be unbeatable. To circumvent this Maya, we take the help of established scientific facts. The proposal. The concept of holographic universe is proposed in this paper about how this illusory universe might have been formed without invoking the Maya concept. It has been shown that consciousness with inherent characteristics of information and energy pervades entire universe. This means, at every point or Planck area of the universe, these three must be present and acts as a holographic plate. It is known that consciousness transforms energy into matter, and vice versa. Also, consciousness transforms information into knowledge. Energy organizes matter into different states that show up as information which becomes knowledge in contact with consciousness. In this way, these three constituents, consciousness, information, and energy, are adequate to create this illusory universe. The quantum mechanical theories that probed inside the atom provided enough support to say the universe is not real, and we are living in a simulated universe. It is shown that 99.999% volume of space in an atom is empty, and matter is nothing but assemblage of atoms. Also, at the subatomic level, there are no material particles, but waves of energy. It is observation that makes the waves appear as particles. In such a scenario, how matter appears solid is anybody's guess. Therefore, taking these scientific facts, we can think of modifications to the Advaita philosophy without invoking Maya. We can imagine a holographic 3D projection of the universe from every Planck's area with the interaction of these three components. The holographic universe is like computer, simulated virtual world, or metaverse. The question now is who programmed this illusory three-dimensional holographic universe, since knowledge is inherent part of consciousness. this knowledge must be all about projecting this illusory universe. The knowledge is all about sentient beings and insentient world to be projected. We can imagine the human beings taking birth based on law of karma and dharma, while cause and effect, based on physical laws and conservation laws, is applicable to the events in this universe. This is like a programmed video game with auto feedback. This feedback is continually generated. Human beings, depending on their karma in the present life, take birth, after death, either as one of the lower forms of life for bad karmas, or as a human being with better life for good karmas. This cycle of birth and death goes on until the man gets the knowledge about and his true nature and the illusory universe. All living beings are but actors in this game of life. This universe is projected from the manifested state and is sustained for a specified period before it goes back into unmanifested state. After the game is over, identical universe with physical world and living beings is projected during every start of the game. This universe alternates between manifested state and the unmanifested state over an estimated span of 864 billion years, as mentioned in the Indian scriptures. This is the theme of holographic universe suggested in this paper. This manifested world we see and experience is a three-dimensional immersion movie downloaded into our brains, translated into holograms, and projected out there by the mind. In this movie, each one of us is an actor directed by law of karma. In this game of life, only the human being, with sharp intellect and purity of mind, can come out as a winner, since he will have the wisdom to distinguish what is real and what is not. All-pervading consciousness is reflected in the intellect of the living beings, empowering the mind, senses, and body. The human intellect is unable to comprehend this self due to ignorance, just as the telescope cannot see the viewer behind its eyepiece. When a man realizes true knowledge, he will become an observer without any attachment to the world or relationships. His quest for knowledge comes to an end and will have no desires and enjoys bliss while living. He will no longer participate in this game of life and becomes immortal. The ignorant man, on the other hand, keeps on appearing in this virtual world in one form or the other. This is the theme on which the 3D holographic universe might have been programmed. Conclusion.
Advaita philosophy, quantum mechanics, and holographic universe are highlighted. Neither God nor Big Bang created this universe. Consciousness is the only truth, the world is an illusion. God, as pure consciousness, is nameless, formless and actionless. God does not answer our prayers, faith and placebo effects are attributed to God. True knowledge marks the end of quest for knowledge and desires, and makes one blissful and immortal.
References.
Science and Sankara in Search of Highest Truth, by the author. Published by Bharatiya Vidyabhan, Mumbai, 1991. Will Science Come to an End? By the author. Allied Publishers, New Delhi, 1998. ISBN 81-70823-725-4. Consciousness is Truth, the World is an Illusion, by the author. Notion Press, Chennai, 2016. ISBN 978-93-50-06-625-4. Holographic Universe Workshops. By Stephen Davis. Recent Findings About Belief Systems and Epigenetics. By cell biologist, Professor Bruce Lipton.
Mandakya Upanishad with commentary of Sankarakaya by Swami Gambhirananda, Ramakrishna Mission, Kolkata.
Vedanta Pacha Dasi by Sri Vidyaranya Swami of 13th century.
About the otter. Sai Prasad Nanduri, N.S. Prasad, received his graduation in mechanical engineering from Manipal Institute of Technology and obtained postgraduate degree in 1969 from College of Engineering, Trivandrum, Kerala University. He worked as a scientist at the Indian Space Research Organization for 31 years. He worked on satellite launch vehicle projects like SLV-3 and PSLV and on recoverable satellite project for microgravity research. He also worked as a professor of mechanical engineering at a couple of engineering colleges in Bangalore, India. He published couple of books on science and spirituality. Contact prasad.nanduri@gmail.com, mob +91 984 539 6401.